Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's topic is from pandemic to Plan-demic. And I'm just going to review some things. You might already know them. You might find a new tip. You might find something that maybe doesn't work for you. Take what works for you and discard the rest. So let's start with the topic of gloves. A lot of folks do not have latex gloves or proper equipment to go about in their daily lives right now, like the grocery store and stuff like that. They may not also have face masks. Both face masks and gloves can be made by about 99% of you watching this video. You can find a pattern for face masks on the fabric store joann.com. So, I'm not even going to go there. That's a pretty easy one to make. If you have a wife, you have an old bra, again, you can take each section of the cup, sew a little elastic around the cup. You got a face mask, at least something to protect you. It won't be 100%, but it's better than nothing. You'll have two masks. If you're kind of want to take the easy route, wife's bra. You want to try the more savvy route, try the Joann's mask patterns. You think, I don't have any fabric. Yeah, you do. You got an old t-shirt around, you got some old sweatpants, you got anything you can use. Fabric is fabric. Of course, you want to think about fabric that doesn't have a lot of holes in it, maybe a weave that's a little more sturdy, but just be resourceful. If that can be the motto of today, is be resourceful. Let's talk about gloves. Now, I'm not talking about this for people going in to treat patients. I'm talking about you as the consumer, you as the person walking around out in society, which you shouldn't be walking around out in society, but let's say you need to go to the store and you absolutely do not have any kind of a glove, and you do not have winter gloves, you don't have leather gloves because you live in Florida, you don't have any kind of a glove, you don't even have a garden glove, you just for some reason don't have any kind of gloves. Here's the thing. All right, there's something I used to make. I'm not going to bring them out, but I used to make something that I ended up, I can't, it's hard to talk about without telling you. I'm not going to go there, but here is the easiest way for you to make yourself gloves. See your two hands? Get a piece of paper, all right? You lay your hand on a piece of paper. You trace around your hand, okay? And if you want to get really creative, like your hand, one hand is bigger than the other or something, do it like that. Trace, trace. Then you take your pattern and you go around it like a ½ inch around the hand. This can be a fun task for you and your kiddies. So you have them lay their hands down. You have them trace their hands, and you go around that same mark and measure out about a ½ inch. All right? That's going to be your pattern. Cut that out. If you have the ability to do that on cardboard or something with a little sturdier than just a piece of paper, so much the better. Whenever I did my patterns for the projects that I did, what I would do is I would do it on a piece of paper, and I'd take that piece of paper and I would glue it using a special glue to a heavier stock of paper, and then that was my pattern, and I can reuse it and reuse it and reuse it. Now, if you want to be really easy, just do one hand 4 times. Okay, so you got one hand 4 times, or 2 of these and 2 of these, and actually really only need one pattern. Then you think, okay, so now I've got these 4 hands. What do I do? Same thing as before. You go, you look in your closet, you find those old t-shirts, you find those old, something flannel, fleece is great. Find those old San Francisco sweatshirts that you hadn't worn in a long time, that you can get rid of. And they don't even have to match. Fashion, guys, fashion has gone out the window for this. You want to be alive, not mocked for your fashion sense. You can also make these gloves out of the blue tarps. Granted, the sewing on that one's going to be a little bit different. But if you want to do home ec hand sewing with old clothes, that is my speed right here, because I don't know how to use a sewing machine. So whatever I've sewn, and I've sewn a lot of different things, I just do it by hand. So long story short, you take your little pattern that you made with the extra room, you lay it on the piece of fabric, like say the old t-shirt, you take a Sharpie marker and you make your pattern. You leave however long you want the gloves to be. If you want the gloves to only be this long, this is where when you traced your hand, you stop here. If you want to make the gloves really long, you can stop them up to here. You could trace your whole hand and stop it up to here. All right? So that's what you're going to do. You're going to take, like, say, that old t-shirt. You're going to put it down on the ground. You're going to take your little pattern that you've already made, and then you're going to Sharpie marker it. And you're going to do that 4 times. All right. Then you're going to cut it out with a pair of scissors. I'm sure everybody's got a pair of scissors, right? So now you're thinking, okay, I've got these 4 pieces of fabric. What do? Well, you match them up. You match up the hands, the hand to hand, and then you sew the outside of it. Don't sew the bottom. Hello, that's where your hand goes in. Then you do it for the other side. Sew around. You just go around and you literally sew like this. Oh, I know. I don't want to do one of those time lapse showing you how to do it, because to me it's really easy. If you need that, I'm sure there's a YouTube video, but you just sew the outside, okay? It's real simple. Then you flip it inside out and you have 2 gloves, all right? You know what the hell? I'll show you some of the gloves I've made for a project. Now you're going to say, does Theolyn only have 4 fingers? No, but this is what I'm talking about. This is what I made with the pattern. Now granted, this is for a creature that I made, all right? So this was a long time ago, but this is made from my pattern. The creature only had 4 fingers. But if you look, it came from a pattern, cut 2 pieces of fleece, and then you have your gloves, and you can make it as long as you want. It's really simple. And if you turn this inside out, you'll see how I did it. All the sewing by hand. Why am I going through all this incredible effort? It really isn't. What are you doing? Sitting at home watching Netflix? Sew a couple gloves. Now see, if you were to look, I don't know if it'll show. It's literally a little stitch. That's all it is, a little stitch. And then when you flip it inside out, no germs are getting in there. Now, you got to think. I think they said cloth is one of the lowest times that the virus stays on there. It'll stay on plastic a lot longer than cloth. Now what you want to do is you don't want to be like, hey, I'm invincible. What this is doing, I feel so odd with it being on 4 fingers, but now I want to say this, the skin of the human body is an organ, and that organ is one of the biggest organs in the body, and it protects viruses from getting in. So you're not really worrying about getting the virus sitting on your skin, because you can come right inside and take a shower. What you're worried about is where the virus gets in. That's through your eyes, through your nose. I got huge nostrils, so through your nose and through your mouth, okay? That's how it's getting in. When you have gloves on, you're cognizant of how much you touch your face. So in a way, the chances of you putting your fingers in your mouth are low, because you're looking like, oh my gosh, there's something, it's going to notify you. Same thing with having the mask on. You're not going to go up here and do this unconsciously when you've got a mask in the way, when you've got your glasses on. When you're going to the grocery store, act like this is nuclear. Act like this is something that is that has the ability to get on your body, your hair. You need to suit up, and this will keep you from putting your fingers in your mouth, and you can take it off and throw it away, especially if it's some old shirt, or you can throw it in the washing machine on hot water. Hopefully that'll give you a good tutorial on ideas on how to make your own gloves. And you can make these out of, like, say, blue tarps and stuff. But granted, you want to think, whatever you make it out of, the virus has the ability to be on it and active for a longer time. Plastic, it stays longer typically than cloth, and cloth can be washed. So, all right, so having said that, medications. What you want to do is you want to raise your immune system. And all this fear and all this panic lowers your immune system. You do want to get your vitamin D. So if you can go outside your house, like literally like right outside your house, like don't leave your yard, sit outside on your porch and get 10 to 15 minutes of vitamin D. That is so good for your body. So I recommend that. I'm not a doctor. I'm not giving you medical advice. This is just homeopathic thoughts. So keep your immune system boosted. Some things that are known to boost your immune system and good for you is turmeric, I believe, licorice root, organic calendula, vitamin D, and all your other normal vitamins. Now vitamin C, don't go and overdose on vitamins. I have a cousin that overdosed on vitamin C one time. Don't do that, okay? Don't do it. Don't go crazy. Like I said, the skin, it's our biggest organ. It does protect us from things getting in. However, when you go to the store, this is what I'm doing. I'm going to give you an idea of what I did when I had to go get my meds. Here's what I did. I wore shoes that I could wash. I wore jeans that I could wash. I wore a hoodie. I wore a shower cap, the kind you get from the hotels when you visit. I wore a shower cap underneath the hoodie. I wore my glasses. You could also wear sunglasses, I suppose. Now, if you want to go to the grocery store, I wouldn't say wearing sunglasses if you can't see the item. You don't want to be lifting up things to look at stuff, okay? I wore my sunglasses and I wore a mask, all right? And I had the latex gloves on. So this is how I go to the store completely suited up. Also, on standby, I have the extra pair of gloves. Why? Because after I go in the store and risk that viral load, that virus is around in the air for up to 3 hours at the most. It is airborne. Do not let them fool you into thinking it isn't airborne. It's airborne, all right? You do not want to be sucking it in. That's why it's important to stay 6 feet away from anybody. At the least, you do not want to get up close and personal with anybody. So you go in there fully suited up, as hazmat as you can manage at home. You take all your things. Don't use a cart if you don't have to. Use a bag of some kind, like those reusable bags that you can either leave in your trunk for 14 days or you can wash, all right? But you do not want to be dragging any virus that's sitting on any surface into your house. Your house should be your sanctuary, your clean sanctuary. So you go in, you get your goods, you pop the trunk. So now think, you're touching your key fob. You pop the trunk, put all that crap in your trunk, and then strip down. Yes, I said it. Strip off the hoodie. You can leave the hairnet on. Strip off the extra stuff. Not naked, but strip the dirty gloves off. Throw them in the car. If you've got new ones in your pocket that's underneath your hoodie, put those on. Get that crap off of you as fast as possible. Put it in the trunk with the other groceries that are still in questionable status. Get in your car. Now, the key fob. You got to watch that key fob. So throw the key fob, throw your credit card or however you paid, put it in a certain place that's going to need to be disinfected. You get in the car. Take a big sigh of relief. Now you drive home, all right? Don't go to the gas pump or anything else that requires you needing another pair of gloves, all right? So you get home. Now, here's the trick. You come in, tell your family to go wherever the hell they need to go, strip all your clothes off, your shoes and everything, and stick it immediately into the washing machine and on hot water. That is what I've been doing since February 7th. I'm not playing. Homie ain't playing. And this is part and parcel of why I'm still here talking to you. get all your crap off. You're wondering, my groceries. If you have something that's going to spoil, why did you buy it? It needs to be washed in iodized salt. It needs to be washed in water. It needs to be clean. So if you bought apples, you bought stuff like that, that needs to be washed and cleaned, okay? People were touching things in the grocery store. They were putting them back on the shelves. You know, the workers touched the things. You just don't want to play, all right? But let's hope you bought non-perishables. They can sit in your trunk. Unless you're already starving, which I hope you're not, let them sit in the trunk for 14 days. Let them sit in the trunk for 7 days. You know, use the stuff that you've got in your house first that's going to spoil first. That's the thing. Eat what's going to spoil first. Leave the stuff that's not going to spoil to sit for a while, because the virus can only survive, I think, tops 14 days on a surface. And plastic and stuff is its best. It loves to sit there for a long period of time, and stainless steel. So if you've got Lysol, you don't want to be liberal with it, because we are coming to the point where you can't get a hold of it. But if you do, what I do is I pop my trunk open and I just have at it with the Lysol. Then a bit later, I flip everything over and have at it again with the Lysol. So whatever's on there, the cardboard, the whatever, just got probably the virus killed off of it. And then I wash my hands. I mean, when I come inside, I'm like, you know, using my feet and my elbows to open the door and go in and wash the hands. But I gotta say, when you first come in from this viral load, strip off your clothes, stick the stuff in the washing machine, and immediately take a shower. You do want to do this. Your skin protects you, but you really want to take a shower. I know this is going to sound really extreme, but I also neti potted my nose after the shower. Yes, I did. I put saline solution in a neti pot and went through my nose. I do not want anything sitting up in my respiratory tract. I'm also gargling with salt water and drinking hot liquids constantly, because if the virus does get inside, it fosters in your throat, it gets up in your lungs, and the little, I think they're called cilia, your constant swallowing and getting the hot water pushes that virus down into your stomach, where it has no chance once it gets down there and gets to your stomach acid. So let's see what else I missed out on. You want to avoid having a cold nose. So I know, well, Floridians, we really have to worry about that. But the virus does like to take hold in the cold parts of your nose, your respiratory system, your sinuses. And so the more that you can keep yourself hydrated and warm liquids, push that if you have any virus, it pushes it down, and that is what you want to do. So just wash your hands. Like, all this stuff is not saying, okay, I did all this so I don't have to wash my hands. No, that's just what you need to do to make sure you don't get it. While you're at the grocery store, stay off your phone. You'd be shocked at how many people I saw on their phone, no masks, no gloves, touching things, putting things back, and getting on their phone, putting their fingers right up to their mouth. You would be shocked. At the grocery store, stay at least 6 feet away from people. Like I said, wear gloves, masks, sunglasses, a shower cap, a hoodie over your hair. It can sit on your hair. That's another reason why you come inside, you take a shower. I would suggest you use your own recyclable bags that you can just simply leave, that aren't plastic, and you can leave them in your car until they're, the virus, if it's on there, has already died off, or at least gotten down to such a low amount it's not gonna get you. Like I said, strip off your gear before you get into the car as much as you can. Just so trunk it. Make it to the point where after you've been in the store, get out, get everything, the groceries and everything in one spot, and then you can Lysol it or clean it or whatever. That way it's contained. Wash your fruit and your veg. Oh, clip your fingernails. Right now the trend is to have these claws, these really long claws, and then people bedazzle the claws. Oh my gosh, you guys, that's a germ farm waiting to happen. Not only do they say, like, on a general day, the skin under your nails is dirtier than a restroom toilet, like a truck stop restroom toilet. It's nasty when you got the claws that are this long, holding on to viruses, and then you've got bedazzled crap on there. You can't easily get that out. Get rid of your claws. Fashion, do not take fashion. Fashion is not going to matter when you're in your casket. Okay, so clip those claws. And just treat the virus like it's a radioactive particle. You got to think, what have I touched and disinfected? So let's say you get sick. I'm not going to go to the hospital unless I cannot breathe. Why? Because if you had any other reason to go to the hospital and it isn't COVID, you're going to come away with a case of COVID. So if you get sick and you can't breathe, you want to, of course, call the doctor, but you want to not lie flat. You want to keep your lungs open. You don't want to lie flat. You want to drink warm fluids literally like once an hour, because what that does is pushes that mucus and that crap that's trying to stay in your lungs down into your stomach, where the stomach acid will then neutralize it. Also believe, again, I'm not giving you doctor's advice, you need to consult your doctor, that not to start medicating this fever until it hits about 103. If you run cold, that is my number, 103. So you're going to burn out the fever. When you have a fever, your body is at its most efficiently fighting this virus. If the minute you pop a little tiny fever and you start taking Tylenol, which is paracetamol and Tylenol are what they're recommending you take for the fever, you're just dragging it out. It's just gonna make you having the fever longer. Now, if you've got other conditions, I definitely would probably take the paracetamol or Tylenol. But if you're a relatively healthy person and you just have a fever, monitor the fever. But I would not start dosing until you get to be about 103, because that fever is fighting the virus. It's getting it out of your system. If you're smoking, stop smoking right now. It is essentially a pre-existing condition for this virus. If you're a smoker, you've damaged your lungs, and this thing is attacking the lungs, so you do not want to smoke. Okay, so I think that's about all the advice I have to give. Again, I'm not a medical professional. Of course, you want to call your doctor. I hope everybody stays safe. I'm not saying these things to be overly paranoid. I'm saying these things because this is a virus you cannot see, and you just need to take the extra precautions and stay safe. If you have any advice, any tips, I would love to hear them. This is a fluid situation, as the news always likes to say, and we need to adapt. So, without further ado, wash your hands, stay safe, and have an excellent day. Bye.